professional. I've been ex-Microsoft regional director. So all of these designations are sort of awards or recognition given to people outside of Microsoft. I'm never an employee of Microsoft. Moving ahead now on this topic, the agenda for the day would be what is generative AI? And I've been in this AI field delivering sessions since 2013, 14. Uh, and and I have my own learning through my journey, and I'm going to talk about it. It all started with AI and now generative AI. So little confusion was there initially where it fits in my whole AI. And all of a sudden this came called generative AI. So obviously little introduction, and we will look back and look forward in this introduction to find out what is generative AI. Then a term called Azure OpenAI, uh, and of course, the difference between OpenAI and Azure OpenAI is also obvious. That's going to come next. Then predictive AI versus generative AI. And I just mentioned a little while ago that before generative AI, we were all working on normal AI, that's called predictive AI. Then chatbox versus generative AI, because chatbox was one of the first intelligent application which used to think like human being, and it was very popular. So if I'm delivering a session and participants are there in my class in earlier days, if I ask them what you're doing, they will say we are working on chatbox. But today is not that the case. You have too many other options available, too many other things available on and around AI. It's not just chat box, which is there, chatbot. There are other things also available, but obviously a comparison between chatbot and generative AI is there. Then how are you going to secure your data when you want to work with generative AI? And then little demo at the end on something where I'll show you live working on portal.azure.com. That's the attempt I will make. So let's get started now. And feel free to put your questions right in the chat box for me, and I'll entertain those questions at the end of the session. Now, going ahead with first thing, what's AI? The AI is nothing but thinking like human being. So your software, your machines, things like human being is called AI. And I experienced this first time when, in a big way, when I was traveling during COVID time. I saw cameras clicking my pictures, and it was figuring out if I have a temperature. It was figuring out if I'm wearing a mask or not. That is where I saw AI behaving like human beings, trying to replace doctor. I never said it's going to replace human being or doctor, but it was helping, but it was behaving like human being, first time. But this definition was somewhere in 1956, but very relevant to today's world during COVID time and experience it. I'm talking about my journey. So AI involves machines, and they perform the task that is characteristic of human intelligence. That's what AI is. Then comes machine learning. A little confusion in my mind earlier. I'm sure it's there with you also, that what is machine learning, what's AI, how they are linked. And machine learning is another field of computer science where we don't write if-else loop. We give more data to the computer, and then it learns from there. You give more data and it learns. I can give you a classic example here also. I wear a turban, and I purchased a Surface laptop from Seattle, Bellevue, in fact. And when I purchased for the first time, I was very happy about it. I, I showed to my kids over FaceTime that look at this laptop. It looks at my picture, photograph, and it starts. Otherwise, it won't start. And my happiness cut down in the evening when I removed my turban. I have long hair. When I removed my turban, I realized it was not recognizing me anymore. My roommate was Bulgarian. I kept quiet. I thought they will make fun of me. I kept quiet, for 1 day, 2 days. All I used to do was wear the turban back and then log in. But accidentally, fourth evening or fifth day, I realized it started recognizing me with or without turban. I was shocked. I never told anybody. I never complained, but I learned something that that machine learning is all about giving data or it learns on its own. More data and it learns. It's not if else loop. I never complain. I never raise any voice. So this was big thing in my journey to learn what is machine learning, the difference between AI and machine learning and how they're related. So there's a lot of algorithms also. And the algorithms are here which helps you to find pattern on a data. And these algorithm works with machine learning tools. So I work with Alibaba. That's also, I saw there's a machine learning tool there. I attended a conference in San Jose. I heard around 80 to 19 machine learning tools were available in the market. Microsoft has its own. So I work on Microsoft machine learning tool, and we use this algorithm to find out the pattern in the data. So the pattern would be like this kind of a pixel means turban. This kind of a pixel means a car. And if talking about the pattern is finding a pattern on top of a data with the help of machine learning and algorithm falls under AI. So basically, ML, which is called machine learning, is a way to implement your AI. And so this is where my confusion got clear about AI and machine learning and algorithms, how they're connected, how they're linked. Moving forward, when I talk about this thing, that there is algorithms and you have data, which is called big data, and you apply those algorithms to find the pattern in the on a top of a data. I can give you an example. We all wear watches, and all of us wear watches, and those watches sends our data or a heartbeat to the cloud, and then we create a group. Somebody's creating a group of good heartbeat, in the sense there's a lot of majority of a heartbeat is grouped together as good heartbeat, and there would be another kind of heartbeat which is less in number, that is put as bad heartbeat or something in a disease or illness. So when finding this pattern, good heartbeat or a bad heartbeat is converted into a model. So when algorithm works on top of a data and we use machine learning, what we get is model. And this model is an important thing for us now. And this model can handle one single record and can respond back by saying it's a good heartbeat or a bad heartbeat. So when model operates later on after getting trained, it can face single record and response. And we call it as an intelligent model or intelligence AI, thinking like human being, thinking like doctor. So this model is all important. Now that's the turning point. If I create the model from scratch, then I have to use machine learning, and that's called custom model. If model is created by Microsoft or Google or Amazon, that we'll call as predictive AI. For us in Microsoft, we call it as AI services. It means the models are created. Microsoft has done all the hard work of collecting data, running algorithms, cleaning the data, running machine learning, and making the model ready. And they keep updating the model, keep the model better. They work on it, and we don't have to work on it. Whereas when we create our own model, which is on the left hand side, we have to take care of it. We have to make sure it is updated. It's always up. I mean, there's no issues. Here it is. This is called predictive AI. And then there's one more, which is coming here, is called generative AI. This is a new entrant, what it is. And it includes a model name called OpenAI. And so both this one, generative and predictive, one thing I want to tell you, you will not touch the algorithm. You will not go that detail. Only in the ML and custom model, you have that room, that space. But in predictive and generative, you will not be able to work at that level. You will never be a data scientist. You need not to be a data scientist to work in this level. You could be a programmer who want to use it, a developer who want to use it. And the other thing is, the other question must be coming to your mind is, cannot I improve that model? Can I not use it for my work? You can. So they are customizable. These models are definitely customizable. I'm not putting an end to their customization by saying that you cannot reach the algorithm, you cannot go in detail. So it doesn't mean that you will not be able to customize it to your requirement. You can. That's the beauty about it. Now we have to go more in detail to find out the difference between predictive AI and generative AI. This is slightly a different area right now. Moving forward now. So this is a visual of machine learning. If you work on a machine, if you want to churn out a model of a machine learning, how you work, you bring the data, you run experiments, you have a team who cleans the data, and then you develop the model and then host it and maintain it, and people consume it, and then you keep doing this again and again and make sure that this is up and running and good in health. That's called machine learning and custom model. This one is where we call it as AI, Azure AI services. The old name is cognitive services, predictive AI. This is what I call it. So according to Microsoft, it is called Azure AI services. The old name is cognitive services. These are pre-built model, pre-packaged AI services. So they have exposed it over API for us to consume it. And they are pillars like language, speech, vision, decisions. These are all available. I'm not going more in detail. That's where we look forward in future when we do the courses with you more in details in this, how to use them, how to consume them. Along with this model, these are customizable layer on the top. There is one more series which is called AI, Azure Applied AI Services. It means a combination of one, two, three. Say, for example, is something called bot service. And then we use this also. This is called applied AI services. This is not customizable. We cannot customize it further. We can use it. So these are solutions given to us. These are raw model where I'm repeating it. I cannot go to algorithm level. I need not to open it in machine learning, but still I can give my own data and improve it. Remember when I was saying every day my pictures were clicked and they realize it's the same guy. So you can give more data to improve it and to customize it to your requirement, definitely. But no need to be a data scientist here. Moving ahead. So these kind of an application would be very easy to create, like, look, I can do it in minutes, in seconds. I mean, that's too much, I said, minutes and seconds, but definitely too fast. We can do it. That somebody will, this is Uber use case in Seattle area, that driver can start the ride only when its face or her face is recognized, But now I think this will not go very far because of responsible AI and the issues with the GDPR, and not issues, we have to be compliant actually. So this will not go far, but this was an easy thing to talk about it, because today if you want to use face and face recognition, there's a lot of care you have to take from a privacy point of view. But this is just for an explanation right now. Now, so this was all there, we were all using this, we were all creating our custom model, and then came all of a sudden a ChatGPT. They started the era of OpenAI. And all of a sudden, we started hearing a word called OpenAI. And then, if I put down some thoughts, in 2022, OpenAI and a research company created a chatbot called ChatGPT and the image generation application known as DALL-E. These technologies were built with AI model, which can take natural language input from the user and return machine-created human-like response. So ChatGPT created a rage, a craze in something called OpenAI. So ChatGPT was built on top of OpenAI. So success of ChatGPT goes to OpenAI. And then we have something which is called Azure OpenAI. So yes, OpenAI is different, Azure AI is different. So if you go to the OpenAI and give your data, that will become public and you lose it. But with OpenAI, you will tell your team that use Azure OpenAI that will enable you to build an enterprise grade solution with OpenAI model. So it's the same OpenAI model. It's just we're bringing it at the enterprise level where we want to make sure your data is protected. You get enterprise level security. So all that features of Azure we want to leverage to you. So with Azure OpenAI, you can do almost all the thing which you do it in OpenAI: summarize text, get code suggestion, and then generate image for website and much more. This is what it is. So just giving you a little hint. Now going back, of course, I will clear more about what's the difference between OpenAI and AI, Azure OpenAI and OpenAI in coming slide. But before that, I want to go back to ChatGPT and this one I'm talking about. So just going here. So ChatGPT, this many users. This, I don't want to read all of these, but this became rock star all of a sudden, And uh, and then why I'm talking about this page, OpenAI was used to create other things also like ChatGPT, but they never got that popular. Only ChatGPT took off. So one more thing I want to talk and communicate here is that on OpenAI, a lot of other models were also, other applications were also made, but the ChatGPT got popular, And moving ahead, now if I talk about generative AI, uh, this is where the generation started. I had just mentioned about AI, and then I said machine learning. I did mention all this in my initial slides, And we are here right now, 2021, So this is where new things started. Where create new written visual content when we give them a prompt, it will revert with new content, It will give us uh, creative stuff, That is what it is. It creates a new written or visual oriented stuff to us, And and what we do is we give it a little data to get it trained, and that's we give it in the form of prompt, and then it reverts back, So it has some existing data, plus we have to give more data for it to get trained, and it responds. This is what it is. So it get trained on the data, but when it responds to us, it responds creatively. It responds the way we, as a human being, we talk to each other. We don't talk like a wall. We are creative when we talk to each other, and that is what it is here with generative AI. A creative response, we start getting it. A little more difference from predictive and generative I want to talk about. And of course, this is more towards Azure OpenAI. So I would like to show you this sheet. So at the bottom, you have ML. Then you have customizable AI model stack, where vision, speech, language, this is where AI predictive is. And this is your generative AI is. So your predictive AI for Microsoft is in this stack, plus Azure OpenAI is here, So this is where, where we bring scalability, we bring data protection, we bring enterprise grade level of working on this. But all this layer is customizable, This one is not customizable. These are called applied AI services. They are also very powerful. So I have participants from big organization coming to me. They are not just learning this, they're learning the entire belt like this, and then they are learning power apps also, to where they would be consuming these things. So this is how the stack looks like of open AI services, if you look at it. And so this is where it gets fit in now. So ML was already there, this was already there, this got fit in now as a model, Moving ahead. So if I go back a little on the slide, so I'm talking about this workload and this workload. What would be the difference? So this is common AI workload, which is like natural language processing, conversation AI is the bot system I'll create it, anomaly detection. If somewhere in the system, we can figure out if Prabjot is using his credit card in Singapore, all of a sudden, he always uses it in US or Europe, and all of a sudden now Singapore, that's anomaly. And that's like prediction that there is a theft and I'm going to get a call before I use it. And I have to say, yes, it's me. So those kind of thing is called common AI workload, which is what which is this side. Just going back here, this is this side. And now I'm talking about this portion, what this would be capable of. This would be capable of generating natural language. This is what it is, generating natural language. Then there's generating code and generating images. So it can create images, it can edit the images. So all you have to do is tell them that you want a elephant eating burger in a garden, and it will create an image for you. Generating code, uh, I mean, this is to do with the C# Python code for us. You just have to say, and it'll do that. And then it will be, this one is about text completion. It summarizes your text very well. It does that. And inbuilt, they're using something called embedding, and then they're using something called vector index. All that is there, and basically it is generating natural language. And when you write English here, it understands the thing very well. And what it does is, whatever I put as a prompt as in English, it breaks that English into pieces. It and then it creates a vector uh, graph of it. It creates a the words are positioned in a 3D environment. And say, for example, I'm just giving you an example. If there's a word called shirt and there's a word called uh, a trouser, then both are in different coordinates. They will be little far off. Okay. And then if I position another word, which is called skirt, so maybe looking at the skirt, that it looks like it's a lower half thing, then it would be positioned close to the trouser. So what it does is, when I speak, it takes my intent into consideration and then work on top of it. That's the beauty about this model. So this is different kind of job. Generating a code is different kind of job. What you do on the left hand side is different. And generating image by listening to the English conversation or French or whatever it is, it generates the images for you creatively, because it's responding in a creative manner. It responds new messages for you. So it is a different way of working, and which is different from left hand side of the working. So both are needed. It's not like this is enough. You need this side also. Moving ahead, Azure OpenAI and OpenAI. So far we got to know that OpenAI is a model, and on top of it, a lot of things were created, and one of them, which got popular, is called ChatGTP. And so if I try to compare these two, they are the same thing. It's just this is under the umbrella of Azure. And if I take OpenAI under Azure, then we get more security. And we can use private network, we can use VNet and have communication on a private IP and make sure. So a lot of organization, I don't want to name them, very famous organization, they have their own chat system. And how it is, what they do is they take the OpenAI with Azure and customize it to their requirement. And then it works as a genie for them. And they don't want the data to be accessed by outsider. And so they use it for internal purpose, and they put it under their own private network. So I can use my laptop with VPN and can get connected to this. So this becomes secured area of working. The other drawback on Open AI is that if you go and today type on top of it, just put something in the chat GTP that I want a temperature or today's weather information about Sydney or Seattle, it will not be able to respond. It doesn't work on live data. You have to give data and train it. So when you have to train it, it's better you take it on Azure OpenAI and customize it and train it and then use it in a secured way. That's what it is. And moreover, any anything which is not good, there's suspicious activity happening on this, then I can generate alert. I can have monitoring. There are keys. I can protect them, and I can have more secure environment in this for both access and for data protection. This is what I can get with Azure OpenAI. Otherwise, it's the same model. Okay, moving forward. So how we work on Azure, we have an open AI studio. This is how the studio looks like, where you get an environment where you can, this is sort of a playground where you can put text and work on it. I'll show you when I do a little demo quickly on this. Moving forward now. So OpenAI model capability, if I talk about it, now this is OpenAI, which I just mentioned. Language generation was one part, code generation, and there was another thing called image generation. So you can see the prompt I give on these things. Let's look at this one. I'll say paint a pink fox, and it'll do that. And the prompt I want to give here, write a Python function code, it'll be doing that for me. And this is what it does, as an output. And it summarizes also very well, and you can always give a lot of data here and then say, just summarize the whole thing for me. It will do a very good job, excellent job in this case. And so model generate responses based on natural language prompts. These are called prompts, which you're seeing it now. So for image generation, we're going to have a different model. For code generation, we're going to have a different model. For language generation, we're going to have different model, So the service includes multiple model also that you have to keep in mind under the umbrella of OpenAI model. It's not just one model. So the model names are GTP4, GTP 3.5, embedding, DALI. This is for image generation. This is for code generation and language. This is for more complex solutions, we can get it. And so when this is the window of Azure portal where you find, or a AI studio, OpenAI studio, where you find the model and you see the list of the model here, which I've mentioned here. Moving ahead. So, I mean, it's a repeat, so I just want to skip this now. Maybe I'll read one thing here called DALI generate images from the text prompt. That's it. And some explanation I have put it around Codex model, GTP4, GTP. So these are basically more models, under that. And just want to tell you something about this embedding, where we use a thing which is called ADA engine for vector embedding to segregate document into vector space in order to perform enhanced vector search, which have proved to be more efficient than the keyword search, So here you're seeing it, the fruits are all put together so they will be put in the 3D environment like this, and then something which is similar are going to be grouped together, okay, so that's how it would be. So it breaks your document like this. It breaks your words or prompt or a query like this, and then do a good job, So with this it puts an effort on intended communication, That is what it is. I can just tell you at this moment about it like this. Moving ahead. A lot of emphasis is given on something like securing your own data when you work with OpenAI. And just letting you know, there's a term called RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. It means some portion is going to come from Azure OpenAI, which is internal, and there's one external information which is coming. It's called retrieval augmented, and it's going to come from Azure AI Search. Now, AI Search is a part of predictive AI. The left-hand side, correct? This is your right-hand side. So all the office document, PDF files, video files in an unstructured format is what will fall under AI search. So you bring your own data, and uh, you're not going to give this data here actually to the open AI. You're going to keep it here. This is from a security point of view I'm talking about. And the other term which we have is called VNet, then key vault, to be used to keep the keys of the models. And now I'm talking about this part, which is called uh, RAG. And I just want to go into this next slide. So this is a classic example where, or a classic visual which talks about both the world working together. It's not generative AI is replacing your predictive AI. This is the classic example. So when you have the data, uh, your organization, unstructured, structured data, whatever it is, you're going to be applying a Azure AI search on top of it, which is part of your predictive AI. And the customer, we're going to put a query here, and then uh, information would be extracted. And the extracted information, it means not the complete PDF file, would be given to the model here. It's just the extracted information which is there, because you apply cognitive search here, and you extract those information. And that information, we call it as knowledge, because you have, say, for example, you have a PDF file and it has visuals, and it has some feedback. So we want to read the feedback as positive, negative. This would be done by this. And then take a color of a scooter or bicycle, whatever is the product, that also you take it here. And that data will go into the open AI, not the original document. So you're keeping your data with yourself. That's number one. And then, this is like you're extracting a knowledge out of it, so your queried knowledge will go here, and you're going to get a response also, from here. So, and so basically, you're not exposing your data, you're keeping the corporate data to yourself. This is a classic example of both the world working together. So, as I mentioned, when you're building a career in this direction, you have to think of even even working on a custom model also. So generative AI will give you something, predictive AI will give you something extra, and there's custom model. So when you're building a career in AI, you have to go with all three. So little confusion people have regarding conversational AI and generative AI. And I mean, I can just pause here for a moment. It's like, how can I use ChatGTP as Google? No, you cannot. Because if you ask what's the weather, ChatGTP cannot respond to you. No. So ChatGTP would be doing a great job when I have a use case like, my dad is 80 years old, my wife uh, is busy at work most of the time, so she wants to be uh, available close to the internet, or she always wants to be close to a cyber cafe or where the internet connectivity is. And then my kids are too young. Now you suggest me what all places I should visit in Sweden for next 5 days in my travel plan. And then ChatGTP would do a great job for you, in summarizing the whole thing. So that probably Google cannot. So now we're talking about generative AI versus conversation bot system, So conversation bot system, which you have they also behave like human being, but their focus is response in conversation, They hear the response is coming in creative output, which I just mentioned a little while ago. I gave my use case, my need, and it responded in a creative way, that okay, then like a human being will respond, the other one. This is also like human being interacting, but there's a huge difference. This is more creative output. And it can take structured, unstructured input and generate new content. I always tell people the output is new. Output is not the old one, and that's not the case with this. And then commonly used in virtual assistance, where customer support. I think customer support is the right word. Here it is more when I want to be creative. I want to create an ad for for a holy festival which is coming in India. So that would be done by this. So here it is more of creative work. So you're getting a difference between generative AI and conversational. This side is more towards content generation, creativity, learning from the data. That is what it is. And okay, moving forward. And I just gave you a little hint about the prompts. Prompts is such an important thing in the uh, entire working of generative AI. And they are nothing but commands that you feed into your chat completion model, telling to do something as simple as retrieving an information about a company stock. That's called prompt. And prompt engineering can be mastered with experience. There is no other way. And moving ahead, I just want to go ahead and do a little demonstration where prompt and completion would be there. So I'm just going with live now. Just give me a moment. I would just go here and yeah. So I will just try and create the uh, everything live. I will just go ahead and create on portal.azure.com a open AI. One moment. Give me a moment here, please. Yeah. So I will just go ahead and create a yes. portal.azure.com. I just want to show you how we work on Azure on this. There is some problem, not able to type it. Looks like got hanged. Let me try it again. It'll take 1 minute or so. I just moved it to other screen and trying to revive it back. If I can revive the whole environment, trying it, reboot it and try it. Let's see. Meanwhile, I'll continue with the talk and so working with Open AI live demo I wanted to do. And no worries, probably I can show you a video. I do have a video also, and I can play that. That can be done. But it would be nice if this was up and running. Let's see. One more attempt I'm making. Okay, no problem. We'll move forward now. So this is how, if I had have created the model in the portal.azure.com, this is how it would have looked like. We have a playground where completion playground, we can call it, where I can uh, go ahead and uh, put the prompt and get the output. And this is what the chat playground looks like, where I can uh, simple give prompt and get a response. So this is where this is what the look this look is of the AI Studio or Open AI Studio, where we can perform some steps. This is where demo is in pipeline. Just give me a moment. I will just try to relaunch it, and let's see. Okay, just want to launch it again. So I'm using an environment of learn on demand, and hopefully it's going to be up in a minute. Meanwhile, this is happening in the background. I would just go ahead and talk about Microsoft Copilot. This is one more thing which is coming up, Microsoft Copilot or a GitHub Copilot, which is there. This is what? This is also a AI feature wherein if I talk about the GitHub Copilot, it's an AI paired programmer where it helps us in coding, while I perform the coding in GitHub, like if I get stuck, I can say that I don't know Python language and I want to create a code for machine learning. And this is my objective, and it's going to write the whole code for me. So the Copilot for GitHub is a AI pair programmer that offers autocomplete style suggestion as you code while you code. This is what GitHub Copilot is. And similarly, there is something we call it as Office 365 Copilot also, or Microsoft 365 Copilot. And I can give you an example how it will be helpful. It can summarize the context of a large image thread. And say, for example, we can give a complete Word document and tell the Copilot of Microsoft 365, please go ahead and convert this into a presentation for me. And it will be doing that without any problem. So, and similarly, my experience is there is Copilot for security also in Azure. So Copilot is making inroads everywhere. And this could be a great career option as well. Okay, just want to go ahead and check if the environment is up and running. It looks like it is, and we can at least go ahead and do some demo. So I just want to give the password, log in here, and here we go. So I'm going to go to portal.azure.com. I always feel it's always nice to have a little demo. And I'm going to go ahead and give username and the password. All I have to do here is go into this place and type open AI. And then create an open AI. We have to select the resource group where we're going to create it, give it a name, which could be unique. And I just give it Prabjot AI O. And the pricing, I'm taking it at standard. And just want to check if anything else is there for me at the bottom. No. I'm going to click on next. Networking, I'm going to ignore it. I told you OpenAI can be brought into VNet, and we can avail enterprise level security. So this is how it's so easy to create a OpenAI service in Azure with few click of buttons. And once this is done, it will give me a way to reach the studio. So when I typed AI services on the top, or you just saw when I was talking OpenAI, there were a lot of other predictive AIs also. The old AIs were also there. This is the new one, which is added, which is generative AI. So immediately in next Meanwhile, I'll do one more thing. Okay, that I'll figure out. I mean, I wanted to use it in Visual Studio Code, and I can just get ready with that also. Let me, yeah, this is done. So if I go into the Azure OpenAI, there is key and endpoint, which I'll be using it if I want to consume it. So these two things are needed. And then if I go onto the overview, this is where it's going to launch a studio for me. And this studio, which is here, will help me to create the model. So I've not yet created the model. I will create the model inside the studio. Though there is a button here called model deployment, but this model cannot be created here. It will ask you to go to the studio. It will take you there, and I'm already there. And this is where I was just saying this is a place where you can put text. It's like on a UI basis, you can test the prompts and get the response from the model. All that can happen. It's an easy way of working. The other way is the stage two would be to incorporate Visual Studio as a developer, use Visual Studio and have request response going from the model, But this is the place you go and create the model. Right now, I've just created the service and I have to create the model. And when I create the model, I have to take a decision whether the model would be of what type, GTP 3.5 turbo, or it's going to be delay, and there is a new preview also coming. So I'm just going into the model here. So I'm just selecting the model which I want to work with. So turbo 16 I'm picking up, and then going to say deploy. And I can give a name here called prob. So once the model is ready, I can consume it, and just want to go further a little, just make it 5. This is called tokens. More details when we meet next someday while doing the advanced courses. And I think that this is what it is. And I will just go ahead and say create. So once the model gets created, I can use it in this playground also, like there's a chat completion. I can use DALI and create an image. So here there's a playground given to me where I can use it, or as a programmer, I can go into this place in VS Code, and I can also I will do that also in the back end. I will go here and click on Git clone. So what I'm doing, I'm just bringing a code from the GitHub repository. Just trying it again. Oops. It's getting copied twice and I'm trying to delete it now. Let's see. Here we go. Demos always come with, open AI, press enter. And that should give me a folder where I will drop this code. Awesome. Almost done. So this is where the repository is coming. There's already pre-coded stuff for me. And all I need to do is copy these things here. This will give you a good idea. So this is the name of the model I have. That's PRAPHM. I'll remember that. And there is a key here. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this key and put it here into the lab file. Just going here and filling up these details. This is where I want to give the key. And this is where I have to type grub M, the endpoint I want to bring. So you're just realizing it. Only these three things are needed from the service. That's it, because it's a software as a service. And then Control S. Not going more in detail on the code part. And this is the place I want to send some, maybe a little copy paste last thing, and then I'm going to run this. That's done. Then this portion. And I have to run a package also, which I'll do it in a minute. So this is where I'm sending the prompts. You are a helpful assistant. Summarize the following text in 20 words or less, and the text file is there with me here, and that I can show you later on. And this will go and take the entire text and summarize it and responds to me. And I will go on to this place and add the package. The package I want to add, it's like an SDK given to me, and I just have to add that and then run it. So this is very easy to work. I just wanted to do a little demo. Very difficult to do the demo in this short period, but I thought to put it across to tell you that it's an ease of working. It's not difficult. You need not to be a data scientist. I'm again repeating it. It's all about how you take these models and put into your application and make your application intelligent. This is what it is. Just give me a moment. I don't know why it gets twice copied. So this is the package I've installed, the SDK, which helps me to communicate with the endpoint and reach to the model and take my message also. And then we type .NET Run. This is the code I have done in C#, but you can always look towards the code in Python also. Python is another interesting language, and you're going to get a response. So this is how it is. So I just want to stop here and just want to ask any questions. Look at the chat window if there are any questions for me.
Yeah, thanks, Prabjot, for the informative session. I think so. There are a few questions which participants have put. So, with your example of turban, if ML identifies you without turban, but also then how we can be replying on ML models, because now it can recognize any pattern which looks similar to your pixel pattern.
Okay. So basically, what we have to do is we have to go with a custom model training in which we have to educate I have to customize it by saying that if there's something called tagging. I have to do an exercise of a tag. And because for them it is just a pattern, but I have to tag it. Say for example, suppose we're doing an exercise where we want to find out what are the breeds of dog across the world. So this tagging exercise I would like to do it across the world, because I believe the dogs in Sweden would be different breed and some would be different in another area. And we would like to collect all the tags and images, and those images will tag it as dog, and then give this data to the model and then train it. Because there's another thing about turban. The people in Kenya, they wear different kind of turban. The people in Malaysia, they wear, and we wear different, And so even different kind of turban, I should collect and tag it so that educate the model such way that it won't miss it. So there is some exercise I have to do at my end of tagging. By the way, the lab has worked. You're seeing the example on the window where the text got summarized and I got a response. So I just want to show you how easy it was. I hope I answer your question, Ravi. Any other?
Yeah, once the benefit of when would you use Azure AI Studio versus Microsoft Copilot Studio? Can you provide the key difference to help us decide the best option?
No, Copilot is it is a different thing. Copilot is very closely associated with the product. That's why I give you an example of GitHub Copilot. I said GitHub Copilot is helping developers because developers are using GitHub. They write the code in GitHub. GitHub is a place where the repository of the code is kept. So this is GitHub would be mainly code oriented. Whereas Office 365 or 365 Copilot would do what? It will look at your emails, it'll look at your past communication with people, minutes of meeting, it'll look at Word document, SharePoint. It'll have access to all document, and then maybe I can just say to Office 365 that please draft the email and create an agenda of a meeting looking at 20-minute meetings in the past. And then Copilot will do it for you. So that is productivity. So this Copilot is, and then when I work on security Copilot, then it is helping me in security of an Azure, or security of maybe a mobile phone. So this Copilot gets specific where it is attached. And whereas what I'm talking right now in front of me is AI Studio, Azure AI Studio, which is a playground. It is like open. You can create your custom work also. You can give more prompts and train it to your custom requirement. It is not like Office 365 specific or coding specific. With open AI Studio, I have more room to cover. Copilot is already given to us. We have to consume it. Here we create it. We create and train it.
Okay, and one more question. Once the benefits of Azure AI solution is that the internet company data remains private, but the model does not seem to use that data to improve the model. It is possible to improve the model with internal company data to provide better context to the respondent to employee prompt and still remain private to the public world.
I agree with you. I think I mean, what was the question? You just
I
answered.
don't know if
You
somebody had
summarized
written.
it. No, it's not a
Yes.
question. It's like, I think
Okay.
it is summarizing the whole thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Somebody has just summarized it. So
yeah,
maybe.
in a nice words, that's what he
Yeah.
has done. I agree,
Okay.
I agree. I agree with you.
Uh, Yeah, so participant, we actually running out of time, but if you have any queries, you have our email IDs. You can just drop the question. We can send it across to the trainer and he can revert back to you. And rest, most of you had asked for the recording. So recording of the session would be sent across to you. And I think so, more or less, Prabhjot, we've covered anything. Anything else you would like to throw light on?
No, I think I'm done. There's nothing more than this, to be honest. And so just my wishes to everyone is that all the best to in this track AI. It's very hot nowadays, and that's what I suggest. And do all the things. Just don't stick to generative AI. Do generative AI with custom model as well as predictive AI. Don't leave any AI in this journey. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating.
So thank you everybody. We are running a special offer on training. So I have just pasted the link across of our website. You can just go through it. We are running a special discount on it. And thank you for your time and hope to see you in the next session. Stay safe there. And thank you, Prabhjot, for that informative session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.